What's going on, everybody? C4 here. Welcome back to the channel. We're bringing you another Madden 20 rebuild, and this is our first rebuild post big August 20 title update that brought in the offensive line X factors. It made it so mobile quarterbacks will actually run better in the sim. So I figure, why not? Now that we can finally, use a team that a mobile quarterback, why not? Let's do the Baltimore Ravens. They're the team that we kicked off the rebuilds last year in Madden 19 with. I had a special spot in my heart because a lot of these guys actually went on to have good rookie seasons that are entering their second season. We actually gave them the benefit of the doubt and developed them nicely, like Orlando Brown Jr., Mark Andrews. And then you throw in the fact that they're adding some brand new faces to this offense. You're adding Hollywood Brown. You're adding Miles Boykin. You got Lamar Jackson, who's a year better and now has some super crazy superstar abilities. What's he rocking with here? We got a escape artist. In fact, like he's absolutely filthy. You got Mark Ingram, nice little veteran. Coming off from the Saints in free agency. Let's look. I hate that. I'm not gonna lie, I hate that menu. Let's actually look at this. Let's break down the roster. So we got Lamar Jackson. He's filthy. He's gonna be good in the sim. We got Ingram. We got some nice young running backs. I'm gonna try and feed Justice Hill a little bit more. I was kind of surprised when I saw the ratings come out and he only had a normal dev trade, but I think he's a talented running back, and we're gonna try and get him as many snaps as we can. Plus, he's by far the youngest running back on the team. I think he could be a nice weapon. Rijkaard's low-key one of the best fullbacks in the National Football League. Also plays D-tackle. Great two-way player, even though that doesn't exist in Madden. Our wide receivers. So, Willie Snead's not bad. 26, 78. That's a guy that you can use. We could probably get him up to the low 80s. Roberts, not so much. I really do feel like our wide receiver core is going to be Snead, Hollywood Brown, and then we're going to put Miles Boykin in the slot. Miles Boykin everyone knows Hollywood Brown. He's fast. He's a rookie from Oklahoma, 97 speed, 95 acceleration, but not enough people were giving Miles Boykin credit. We tried hyping him up before the game dropped that he's going to be an overpowered rookie. 6'4", 220 with 92 speed, 90 acceleration, 84 catching, 83 catch in traffic, 86 spec catch, 96 jumping. He's a freak of nature. Like, literally, he's 10 pounds away from being a legit overpowered tight end, and maybe one of the most overpowered tight ends in history. Tight ends, speaking of the tight ends, lots of guys here on the roster between Mark Andrews, Hayden Hurst, and Nick Boyle. What I'm actually going to do right at the rip here, though, is because we sim the games, tight ends really have no value whatsoever to our team. So we're going to take two tight ends and see if we can get some sort of value for them. Nick Boyle, solid, and Hayden Hurst, obviously just being a year removed from being a first-round pick, even though he got outshined by Mark Andrews, which I thought Mark Andrews clearly was a better prospect coming to Oklahoma. But, ultimately, it's a good problem to have in real life for the Baltimore Ravens to have that much talent at one position. Offensive line, we have our franchise tackle here in Ronnie Stanley. Now that there's offensive line abilities, definitely hope that we can earn one with him. Right guard, the interior outside of Yonda, who's kind of old, not great for the rebuild. It's not very strong. We're going to have to look at rebuilding that. But our tackles are set. Orlando Brown Jr. Is good, 23.79 after having a horrendous combine. What was that, 2 years ago, a year ago? He established himself there with the Baltimore Ravens. And I like the fact he got a star dev. We got two franchise tackles with star devs starting right at the gate here with the Baltimore Ravens. On the defensive side, they're a little bit older. You got Brandon Williams, who's solid, but he is 30. Willie Henry for the time being. It's not bad. Looks like a nice developmental prospect, but he's probably going to want to get paid before ready to move on from Brandon Williams. So that's going to be a little bit of a tough decision to make. We got Wormley. Again, is he really going to develop? Probably not. In the inside, though, 26 years old, Michael Pierce. He should be one of the cornerstones of this defense for this rebuild. In the linebacking core, Judon. He's a good player, but he's 27. That's like the tipping point of like, you're just a little too old. Come year 4, you're going to start regressing. Same with Onwuasor. We got Kenny Young. Maybe we can develop him a little bit, but I definitely think you could. I think Onwuasor is really underrated. I don't even know if I pronounced that name right, but watching him play, man, he flies. Oh, he's basically one of those like safety linebacker hybrids, but he looked really, really good. And I do actually think in real life, Baltimore is. You're gonna miss C.J. Mosley, but I think he can step up and make some big time plays for you guys. But for Madden, it's not looking so great for a Madden standpoint. You got McPhee, who's super old. I'm not gonna lie, we're gonna rock and roll with either Tim Williams 74, Jalen Ferguson is a 70. We might actually go with one of the young guys here. I feel like McPhee. Does no good having McPhee there. He's only gonna regress. Maybe we go Ferguson in a 2-year period. We definitely could catch up. Yeah, we'll go Jalen Ferguson probably, the rookie at LA Tech, to try to be our starter there. The secondary best corner is Marlon Humphrey, franchise corner, 23.85. Got a lot of old heads here, and Jimmy Smith and Brandon Carr. They're solid for the time being. Tavon Young, really good slot corner. That's where he's going to play for us right now. So long-term, Tavon Young and Marlon Humphrey are going to be Gucci. We will have to find another outside corner to pair with Humphrey long-term because, Carr and Smith aren't going to be that guy. The safety, they brought in Earl Thomas. Now, he's one of those players. We got the zone hawk ability, a superstar X factor. Maybe he's not going to regress so bad. He's 30. There's a chance he can be 34, 35. He's still hanging around the final year of the rebuild. He's still like high 80s. Certain players only regress only a couple points. I think Earl Thomas could be that guy, so he might be here for the entirety of the rebuild. Tony Jefferson at 27, very likewise. I think our safety tandem, we should feel somewhat confident that they can survive most of this rebuild and really be, much like Michael Pierce, cornerstones of this defense. Special teams is on point. We got one of the best kickers and punter combinations in the league. And yeah, man, we got the mobile QB fix. So I'm hoping that we see, some good numbers from Lamar Jackson. I've seen him a couple of times, 300, 500. It's still not perfect, but it's way better than Lamar Jackson having like 3 rushing yards total on the season. So let's see what he can do here in year number 1 of the rebuild of the Baltimore Ravens. We're able to find a trade partner pretty much like for like. Wujie was a second-round pick. Hayden Hurst was a first-round pick. Dallas Cowboys desperately need a tight end. We had to fill in some depth. They needed a free safety that was on their need, so Deshaun Elliott, Texas guy, reuniting back there. And then Gus Edwards, solid power back option, just really was never going to see the light of day in our backfield. It was always going to be, at worst, if we're going for a power, it'd be Dixon or Mark Ingram to pair with Justice Hill. And with that, we're able to get Chidobe Wujie, who can come in and be that long-term corner option, along with Marlon Humphrey and Tavon Young in the slot. Halfway point, week 10 of year number 1, and we're 4-4 at 500. Looking at the rest of the business, it's not bad. We're only a game back from the Cleveland Browns, and I think with how the season's going, I've seen a couple of the records of non-divisional opponents. We're still probably right in that wild card hunt, which is good. This is a roster that is not really... it's an interesting rebuild roster because there is some age concerns, but generally speaking, it's a strong roster that we should be contending sooner than later. Look at the roster here. First up, let's see. We got Michael Pierce, 92 overall playmaker, nose tackle. We want him, the big 360-pounder. Got him locked up long term. Jimmy Smith, he's going to regress. No, thank you. Judon, solid for the time being. 4-year deal's a little bit long for me, but I'll give him that offer. That's not that bad. Willie Snead actually got a scenario. They get it bumped up to a star dev. So he's a real nice slot wide receiver. So we'll get him. Reichard, what is the value of a fullback? I don't really know, but I feel like they use him a lot in Baltimore. So we'll get him locked up. Tavon Young, we want him to be our long-term nickel corner. So we'll have to come back to the table and negotiate with him. Beyond that, I like Willie Henry as well as an outside developmental prospect. 2-year, $10 million deal. I like him as a player. We'll see if he takes that money. I will. Okay, we will. We'll give him that. We'll give him those bucks. So other than that, yeah, we'll come back to the table with Tavon Young. Other than that, real good in-house free agency period or potential free agency period for the Baltimore Ravens. Disappointing end to the season as you see all the practice squad players being signed, which means you missed out on the playoffs. We were 8-8, second in the AFC North. I feel like we were really close. Yeah, first team out, 9 wins is what it took to get into the playoffs. That's probably where the Ravens are at right now. They're going to be a team that, they're going to either make the playoffs or just miss the playoffs. Looking at how Lamar Jackson played, 3,500 yards, 19 touchdowns to 12 picks. Not amazing. 272 rushing yards, 4 times. Again, like I said, they fixed the scrambling quarterbacks in the sim, but still not where it needs to be. I'd much rather it be here than be where it was. But for Lamar Jackson, I'd be shocked to see anything less. He shouldn't be getting any less than like 500 rushing yards for a quarterback, but at least it's something. Hill and Ingram, we had a decent rushing attack, all 3 of them combined. Hollywood Brown as a rookie, 72 catches, 1,000 yards, 5 touchdowns. That might have got him Offensive Rookie of the Year. 703 for Willie Snead, 630 and 9 from Mark Andrews, 470 and 1 from Boykin. Justice Hill was our third down back. He was also very productive. Defensively, Kenny Young, 108 tackles, 9 TFLs, 5 sacks, and a pick. 5.5 sacks from Michael Pierce was leading the team. Again, I don't know what it is, man, but in the sim, 3-4 defenses just do not get a lot of sacks. 2 picks from Awuzie, paying dividends from that trade with the Dallas Cowboys. Let's see, what's his name? The tight end we sent them. What did he do? Did he do better than what we got? Let's see. Well, obviously he was sitting behind Jason Witten. So cool. It's a long-term move. Long-term move from the Dallas Cowboys trading for Hayden Hurst. Quick look at the yearly awards. MVP went to Mitchell Trubisky. Way to give it away that we're playing Madden here, everybody. AFC Offensive Player of the Year went to Patrick Mahomes. We had no one. Defensive Player of the Year went to Ryan Shazier. We had Kenny Young coming in number 8. Offensive Rookie of the Year went to Hollywood Brown. Justice Hill at 2. Miles Boykin at 3. Phenomenal. Just phenomenal stats there from our roster. I'll take that every damn day. Defensive Rookie of the Year went to Jalen Ferguson. We got Offensive and Defensive Rookie of the Year. That is going to be huge. I love the fact that Jalen Ferguson... I don't know. How did he do that? He had 3 sacks. What got Jalen Ferguson? He had 7... Okay, that's actually not that... When you look at the TFLs, 76 tackles, 14 TFLs, 3 sacks. That's not bad. I could see that winning offensive or defensive rookie of the year. Sorry. So, I mean, year 1's over, but we had back, offensive defensive rookie of the year. That hopefully will get some brand new dev traits, and it's a great starting point to get ready for year 2. So, looking at free agents here, we're gonna go a little big. Kareem Hunt, he's always available. I've yet to sign him. He's a scheme fit. Baltimore. Last time they had a running back with some issues. They just straight up cut ties. I don't know. I'm not going to really weigh in on that. But I think Kareem Hunt could be a very interesting fit. We're not going to overbid. Buffalo's still right there. But I will submit an offer. And then I saw Myles Jack getting lowballed by the Jags. And while we did just re-sign a Woodasaur. Kenny Young could be emerging as a linebacker. I think Myles Jack, if you're a linebacker, you pretty much want to go play for Baltimore. So we'll see if we can bring Myles Jack in as well. This would be a huge free agent period, though, if we can get both of these guys to top 10 free agents. So on top of getting both Hunt and Jack in the free agency period, here's how our draft shaped up. So in the first round of pick 17, we got Patty Fisher, who's going to be able to come in and compete right away for that other outside linebacker role. 73 hidden dev trade, very talented linebacker from Northwestern. Can pretty much play everywhere on that linebacking core, so the versatility is key. Second round, we got Alex at Leatherwood, guard from Alabama. He also comes in with a hidden dev trade. He can play guard and or tackle, but I think he's going to have an honest opportunity to earn that starting left guard spot. And then we might be able to take Ben Powers, move him into center, or open up a competition between him and Nick Harris, our 3rd round selection out of Washington, 66 overall. Regarded as one of the better centers for this draft class. Beyond that, we got Levante Taylor in the 4th round. 5th round, Jalen Johnson, the corner from Utah. And then the 5th round, just a flyer on Robert Hainsey, a guard from Notre Dame, to fill out the rest of our depth chart. So year 2 is here for the Baltimore Ravens, and definitely with the moves we made in this offseason, we are expecting to do better than 8-8 and to make a legit run for the playoffs. Adding Kareem Hunt into the backfield, 92 overall. We got Hollywood Brown on the outside, 85. Snead in the slot's good. Miles Boykin is continuing to develop. RG3 is just an 81. I feel like he's developing very, very quickly. That superstar depth trait is awesome to have. He's really starting to hone in on that accuracy. 85 deep, almost in the 80s for medium, 85 short. The throw on the run's always been phenomenal. So I think we're going to be developing something special for Lamar Jackson. Hopefully we get a little bit better and more accurate rushing stats here in year 2. Offensive line, Mark Andrews developing nicely. Same with Orlando Brown and Stanley Leatherwood, the 2nd or 3rd round pick. Get around the top of my head, but he's gonna be starting at left guard. We took Ben Powers, who was just an interior offensive lineman from Oklahoma. We slid him into center. He's a 71, and he actually got like the mentorship from Yonda, so that's definitely helping him out with his development. On the defensive side of the ball, we big addition in the middle, adding Myles Jack. We also in the 1st round got Patty Fisher. He's gonna be a sub package outside end. I think we have him rocking as a specialist defensive end along with Jalen Ferguson. So he's going to be able to get some snaps here as a rookie and ultimately, probably be the successor to Matt Judon, who's getting very close to 30. Other than that, no real changes here. I'm definitely hoping that Chidobe Awuzie and Marlon Humphrey can become one of the better cornerback tandems in the National Football League. But it's Baltimore Ravens. Never really have to worry about their defense. I definitely think with the improvements and with the addition of Kareem Hunt on offense, we're going to do much better than 8-8 here in year 2. Halfway through year 2, and look at that turnaround. 6-2 on the season. We're trailing the Browns. Browns are 7-2. Browns are really, really tough in Madden 20. They're pretty much really tough at the end of Madden 19 too, but I do like our chances to at least be a lot more competitive this year when it comes to the postseason. Look at the contracts. What do we got? We got Marlon Humphrey. Absolutely whatever it takes to lock you down. 5 years, 68 mil. Thank you very much. Yonda, we don't have any replacement. You only want a 1-year deal. That's a team contract right there, because he's not regressed too bad. We got Ronnie Stanley. He wants to get tackle money. That's actually below market, I'd like to think, for a franchise left tackle. So we're Gucci there. Tony Jefferson. That's probably the first ugly contract that we're looking at, but he's not bad. Chidobe Awuzie. We didn't just trade for you. I'd only have you for a rental. Let's get you locked up. Beyond that, there we go. That was a lot of money spent in-house. We could probably free up and cut off some of the dead weight this offseason, though, if we do want to try and make another splash in free agency. Just want to confirm that Lamar Jackson is getting very close to reaching Michael Vick level. I saw we won here in Week 16, 56-21 over the Steelers. Steelers are struggling. And I look at Lamar Jackson, 5 passing touchdowns, 6 touchdowns. He got 6 touchdowns. He's getting ready to take this world over. So I guess the addition of Kareem Hunt and Myles Jack were just really the turning point as we went 13-3, tops a very good Browns team, 11-win Browns team. Definitely thought they were going to walk away with the division. Lamar Jackson was electrifying. 3,700 yards, 31 touchdowns, 10 picks. I mean, maybe, I don't know why. It just felt like every time I looked at the box score, he was going off. I thought his numbers would be a little bit better than that, but that's still really good for Lamar Jackson. For run the ball, almost 400 yards and 2 touchdowns, so it's getting a little bit more accurate. I'll take that. But a healthy backfield, 540 and 11 for Mark Ingram, 14, almost 1,511 for Kareem Hunt. That is lethal. For the receiving, we got 82 catches, 1,100 yards, 8 touchdowns for Hollywood Brown, 875 and 4 from Willie Snead, 605 for Mandrews, almost 503 from Miles Boykin, who also grew in depth trait, got up to a star. He's soon to be an 80 overall. Hunt had 4 touchdowns at the backfield. I mean, Mark Ingram and Kareem Hunt both had 15 total touchdowns on the season. That is ridiculous. Myles Jack came in 118 tackles, 12 TFLs, 5.5 sacks, and a pick. I mean, he is a familiar face for winning Defensive Player of the Year, so we definitely knew what we were getting ourselves into when we outbid the Jags to bring him over. 11 sacks from Jalen Ferguson, 58 tackles, 9 TFLs for last year's Defensive Rookie of the Year. He looks like he is going to be the next big thing here in Baltimore. 2 picks yet again for Chidobe Awuzie. You know, I think with the talent in our secondary, probably should have a little bit more turnovers by way of interceptions. Yearly Awards MVP went to Baker Mayfield. Sucks to suck, bro. You're not even the #1 team in your division. There's your classic Jacoby Brissett dominates with the Saints, because that's always a thing. Looking at the AFC Offensive Player of the Year, Baker Mayfield got the nod. Lamar Jackson coming in at 9. Defensive Player of the Year went to Myles Garrett, with Myles Jack coming in at 6. Offensive Rookie of the Year went to Tua Tagovailoa. We had no one. Defensive Rookie of the Year went to Grant Delpit. Patty Fisher coming in at number 7. So not a whole lot of individual success here for the Baltimore Ravens, but we got a first round bye. We dominated our division. And in the divisional round, we're going to be hosting the 10-5-1 Buffalo Bills. All right, let's see how Lamar Jackson is in the sim. We've gone up against the Baltimore Ravens a couple times here in the rebuilds. They're inconsistent. They're not like the Chargers where, we're expecting to dominate every time we hop in the sim. So let's see. Fingers crossed that we can get a result here against the Bills. I mean, we should feel fairly confident that we could beat the Bills, but looks like they're pitching a shutout here in the first half. But we're able to get a touchdown late. And can we hold them off the board before halftime? Of course not. They get a touchdown that probably is going to seal this game unless we just come out and dominate the second half. We get a touchdown, which definitely helps. We get in the red zone to tie it up at 17 apiece going into the fourth quarter. They get a field goal to separate the two teams. 3-point lead. If we could hold them to another field goal, that'd be good. We're going for it on 4th down. We're moving the chains. Probably too little too late as Lamar Jackson fails in his second outing in the playoffs. You can definitely see with how much we relied on Kareem Hunt, holding him to only 65 yards. The Buffalo Bills did a great job defensively. They're an underrated defense. And the Ravens in year 2, after winning the division, get bounced one and done to the Buffalo Bills. Going into year 3, we didn't really sign anyone in free agency. There was no one really to be had. And we had a fairly solid draft. In the first round of pick 28, we got Solomon Kindley, the guard from Georgia, 70 with a hidden dev trait. Don't know what the dev trait is, but he's probably going to walk in the team and be actually our starting right guard. Second round, we got Al Blades Jr., corner from Miami, 67. Third round, Nesta Silvera, D tackle from the U. Reed Blankenship, free safety from Middle Tennessee State. Maybe a little bit of a diamond in the rough here. 69 overall with a hidden dev trait. Amari Burner, depth linebacker from Florida, 63. We got Thaddeus Moss, Randy Moss's son, to come in and be our third tight end. Banks, here's a nice little guard. And then finishing out, we had to replace the punter. And we got 66 with a hidden dev, Tommy Townsend from Florida. So, real good draft. We went heavy down south. But 3 hidden dev traits, 3 potential starters. I mean, Blankenship could start to be groomed to be the eventual replacement and heir to Earl Thomas in case he actually does, surprisingly retire in year number 4 or 5. So, I mean, feel real good about this draft, enough so that I'm not worried that we didn't make any signings in free agency. Year 3, not a lot has changed here on the offensive side of the ball. I mean, outside of the fact that our starters are actually, just developing and getting better. Lamar Jackson very close to getting into the 90s, as is Hollywood Brown. Miles Boykin has emerged as our second wide receiver, but that's pretty much always been the case because Willie Snead was in our slot. Kareem Hunt was huge. No more Mark Ingram. We're going to go with Justice Hill, give the young guy an opportunity to form that lethal tandem. Kinley will be starting at right guard, our first-round pick, to really help solidify this offensive line. It's no joke. The Baltimore Ravens, they want to run the ball. You know, they're not shocking anyone or taking anyone by surprise. Defensively, we look pretty much exactly the same. We're actually going to give Fisher the start. There's pretty much tied with Judon. Actually, maybe we could actually flip him and set him on the trade block. Someone still might want a 29-year-old edge rusher. Who knows? But beyond that, I mean, this is still a really good team. Not a lot of changes, which should be good because we should have similar results to what we had last year, at least during the regular season. We'll find a suitable trade partner for Matt Judon, sending him to the Titans, who made like a bunch of crazy wide receiver signings so that their second or third round pick of Ole Miss, A.J. Brown, became available. Right now, when you look at our roster, the probably next closest player on the offensive side that's going to start regressing is Willie Snead because he's very close to 30. So a guy like A.J. Brown's going to be able to come in, be his potential successor in the slot. So midway point of year 3 with actually a huge Week 10 matchup, 6-2 Ravens, 7-1 Bears. It's a real good division. Browns are undefeated at 8-0. We're 6-2. We've yet to play them, but my God, man, the Browns are annoying. Looking at contracts, I'm kind of fearful. Almost $200 million for Lamar Jackson. Oh, but he's so good in Madden. He's like, I can't wait to play with them. I'm going to be dead honest. And he should be hopefully getting close to getting a superstar X Factor. So let's get that locked in. Orlando Brown, big time tackle. Let's get him. Mark Andrews, our safety net at tight end. He's been fairly good. Maybe not reached the levels that I've hoped, but he's been real solid. Brandon Williams, it's time to move on. We can get a little bit younger at that position. Kenny Young's been very solid for us inside at linebacker. I think we changed up here on the defensive line. I haven't been overly impressed with any of those defensive linemen, to be completely honest with you, and they're looking a little pricey considering we just flexed almost $200 million on our quarterback. We're going to have to find some budget options at D end and D tackle. At the end of year 3, we are the very annoying. It's never not going to be annoying. It was annoying in Madden 17. It's annoying now. The 11-win wildcard team. But the Browns being as dominant as they were, you know, we probably weren't going to get the bye. I don't think we're going to have the number 1, number 2 seed in the same division. That would be too tough, man. God damn it, the Browns. So, yeah, we do have... I didn't even notice. It's the Chargers. My favorite team to go up against in the sim. Look at Lamar Jackson. I knew almost $200 million man, 3,800 passing yards, 31 touchdowns, 9 picks. You know, if that's his flat line, I'm fine with that. Threw in 4 rushing touchdowns. Justice Hill, not nearly as dynamic as Mark Ingram was, but Kareem Hunt has been an unbelievable get, and I'm glad we looked past his checkered past to come in and just straight up take over this backfield and be arguably our most important player, along with Hollywood Brown. 87 catches, 1,200 yards, 8 tutties, 704 for Andrews, almost 607 from Snead. And that's starting for a lot of the time until A.J. Brown came in the slot. He pretty much started at the back end of the season, and he got 600 yards and 5 touchdowns. That is huge. Definitely don't know what's going on with Miles Boykin. He kind of got put to the side, I guess. Definitely need him to get way more touches going forward. Miles Jack, 130 tackles, 9 TFLs, 6.5 sacks, 3 picks. That's huge. Not like the fact that he's leading our team in sacks, but it is what it is. Fisher and Ferguson were okay. And on the picks front, we got 5 picks from Marlon Humphrey. A little bit of a breakout year. 4 picks from Earl Thomas. Ageless wonder like a fine wine. And again, Awuzie just count him for 2 picks every single season. So I like that the turnover to the secondaries has definitely bumped up a little bit. Look at the yearly awards here in year 3. Russell Wilson got himself an MVP award. Of course, no one for the Ravens. Let's play of the year. We got, there we go. Lamar Jackson at 5. Kareem Hunt at 7. Defensive player of the year went to Miles Jack. Beautiful. Like seeing that. So we got some individual stats. Marlon Humphrey also coming in at number 10 for defensive player of the year. So not as much team success as we had last year, but we still made the playoffs. Had a lot of individual success, and hopefully we have all that and more to carry us to a wild card playoff sim win over pretty much the unstoppable Chargers. Okay, round 2 for Lamar. Clearly now that he's a $200 million man, he's going to be a sim god. Even though you're going up against the Chargers, probably the perfect team to see just how good you are in the sim against. We have a great defense, which in previous Madden's defense means absolutely nothing in the sim. If we settle for 2 field goal attempts, can we buy a touchdown here against the Chargers in their soccer team state? 3 field goals, for the love of God. What does Lamar Jackson need to do to get a touchdown? He got 30-something. We're seriously not going to score a touchdown? Are we? Come on, touchdown, 2 points. Tie this one up. Here we go. We got it, 2020. And the game is all on the line here. We got 2:35 down a field goal. Trust me, we've got more than enough of those field goals. And we get the touchdown when it matters. Get our defense, get a stop. And it looks good. It looks good. It's great. Just like that in the wild card, the Baltimore Ravens beat the Kirk Cousins-led Chargers. And they're moving on to the AFC Divisional. Next up in the divisional round, we have the Indianapolis Colts, and they're about to get these hands. Let's be completely honest with you, Colts. Are we scared about the Colts? They're a cursed franchise, and we're not. We have Lamar Jackson. They have Andrew Luck that, for whatever reason, more often than not, in the sim, he's not great. Even though when we did the Colts this year, it came out in our favor. We are absolutely smoking them, and we pretty much should already have our tickets and flight booked to wherever the AFC Championship game is. I don't know who we're going to be taking on. It'd be interesting if it's the Browns, just because they've had such a stranglehold in the division. But we've done pretty good. I think we're 3-1 through the first two. No, that doesn't make sense. But either way, we just straight up dominated the Colts here. Lamar Jackson, 200 yards, 3 touchdowns, over 100+ yards for Kareem Hunt as the Baltimore Ravens are heading to the AFC Championship game. And we got what we asked for. Ravens, Browns, oh my God. We got what we asked for it. We're down 14-0 with like less than half of the first quarter gone. Phenomenal. We're able to punch one back here. I don't know how you start off that bad. Down 21, but it's a high-scoring game. They're turning the ball over. We're turning the ball over. 21, 20. We get the instant touchdown. This game is insanity. 28-28. The first team that settles for a field goal is gonna lose. 38, we're coming in with a nice touchdown lead. Get the field goal there, make it 10 points in the fourth quarter, and we're rolling. We're rocking and rolling. No! How are you going to turn the ball over? Okay, we have the lead with the 2-minute warning. We're gonna lose this. 33 seconds. They got 33 yards, and they're gonna get a touchdown. We already know they're gonna get a touchdown, right? Oh, they did it! Oh! Just like that, the 14-2 Cleveland Browns fall. Lamar Jackson. Look, let's see the stat lines here. Lamar Jackson, real good QBR, 230 yards, 3 touchdowns, 2 picks. Looks kind of ugly. But Kareem Hunt went off on the day, 174 rushing yards, 2 rushing touchdowns. Look at that A.J. Brown, that late season trade. Was it late season? I feel like it wasn't late at all. But that trade, maybe viewed as unnecessary, sending Matt Judon to the Titans is paying dividends. He had huge play today. Defensively, Miles Jack, 12 tackles. We got a couple sacks here. 3 picks. Thomas, Awuzie, Marlon Humphrey. And just like that, we await the winner of the Eagles-Seahawks NFC Championship game for our Super Bowl. Look at that. Look at that second quarter. 28 points from Baltimore. Then we decided to shut it down. Because it's year 3 only, we'll pop a bear this. We'll let it play most of the moments unless things get a little shady in the fourth quarter. I'm getting ready to go to a wedding in literally like 20 minutes, so it'll be hype for this little last bit of the rebuild that I'm recording before I go get absolutely tuned up. We get a Super Bowl here. So let's go. The Seahawks have always been a team that are not particularly great in the sim, so I'm hoping that works to our advantage, because it'd be dope to win the Super Bowl in year 3, and then we take all the pressure off for the final 2 years. It's a successful rebuild. So we get a 7-0 lead. We open up here, and this is a battle of like generational dual threats. Lamar Jackson, Russell Wilson. We got a touchdown lead as Seattle's able to equalize. We got 2 minutes, just under 2 minutes to try and regain this lead at halftime, which we do, man. We are straight up not getting anything less than touchdowns, which is huge. But our defense just, isn't really playing the best. They're not playing the best right now. We went for it. Hey, there we go. 4-point lead over the fourth quarter. We get a touchdown. Let's go. Third down, big field goal. That's coming. That's coming right now as Justin Tucker kicked this big field goal, 57 yards. And then let's get out of here. This should be enough to win a Super Bowl. That's a good kick. It's up. He's the best kicker in the league for a reason, between the uprights. That's a 14-point lead in the Super Bowl with just under 3 minutes to go. They turn the ball over. Let's come in. I want to get something special here with Lamar. I want to just see how overpowered he is. Hopefully he gets that superstar X factor. I already know how Hollywood Brown is going to be off the top of that screen. Oh my God. Oh my God. He is terrifying. He is absolutely terrifying, Lamar Jackson. That should be the dagger to get this Super Bowl win in year 3. Get out of here. We'll let them get a touchdown so they can feel a little bit better about themselves. But too little, too late. Year 3, check it off again. Another successful rebuild. The rebuilds here in Madden 20 have been absolutely on point. I think we are 5-2, 6-2, somewhere in that range for successful rebuilds to failures. So I'm loving that, man. And this is a Ravens rebuild. Now we got 2 more years to try and turn this team into a dynasty. Fingers crossed. I mean, I don't really know how. I'm going to be dead honest with you. How you get those X Factor abilities. I have never once seen, yet anyways, a superstar player, like, a superstar dev player, get that scenario trigger. Hey, I want to become an X Factor. Every time I've got an X Factor, at least in rebuilds, it's just I literally sim into the offseason, and then I'll have a couple players that just get it. So Lamar Jackson was simply phenomenal. Almost 90% completion percentage. That might be the most, that's the highest completion percentage he's ever had in his career. Be it junior high, high school, anything. 3 touchdowns. He was phenomenal today. Plus, he had that 4th rushing touchdown. I mean, everyone knows I'm a Lamar Jackson fan. I understand his limitations. I'm never gonna hype him up to be this prolific passer, but I'm always gonna pull for that guy. He's a monster. I low-key like the Ravens, man. I like the Baltimore Ravens, and I'm pumped they were able to win. Plus, Lamar Jackson always has a soft spot in my heart because he was, the Lamar Jackson Miami Dolphins rebuild was kind of what all kicked it off here on the channel for the realistic rebuilds. A new series that will be starting next week, a 3-part rebuild, a little bit long form from what we're getting here in whatever you want to call it, just rebuilds, general rebuilds here today. But that is a phenomenal, that's a high-scoring Super Bowl. That's an exciting Super Bowl, even though it was kind of anticlimactic because the game was pretty much over and Seattle got a lot of garbage time points. But 45-38, your Super Bowl MVP is Lamar Jackson. That's awesome, man. Rushing, we got, okay. 3 rushing touchdowns. Kareem Hunt has been outstanding. What a signing in free agency to get him. Kareem also had 2 receiving touchdowns. Boyle had 1 too. Defensively, we got a sack from Patty Fisher. Couple picks. Earl Thomas, Marlon Humphrey. The secondary in the sim, the super sim, has been very, very good. But that year 3 Super Bowl doesn't get any better than that. All the pressure's off for the final 2 years. We can just have fun and try to create a little bit of a dynasty here. But fingers crossed between at least Lamar Jackson and Hollywood Brown. We can get one of those 2 guys into a superstar X Factor before we begin next season. We get the offseason. We got one of them. I'm not going to lie. I really want Lamar. He's 96 overall now to get the X Factor. But there we go. Hollywood Brown finally got his superstar X Factor. I don't know how he gets it. Like, he straight up just gets it. That's how it works. It's not like I've yet to see like what triggers that, but we'll take it for Hollywood Brown. He got double me. I mean, he's 99 speed. Good luck stopping him. He's an absolute nightmare. But I really want to see Lamar Jackson get some superstar abilities. I think it's going to be extra freaky. For our draft recap, we didn't have any money to spend in free agency, and I will say this is going to be like the final rebuild before we have 4 draft classes. Like, this is draft class 3. Wasn't just fine-tuned enough for me to implement that in a rebuild just yet. But we are going to, these players aren't real, but for the next rebuild, next weekend, all these guys in year 3 and year 4 will be real prospects. But either way, with the random generated prospects, I ain't complaining because we usually draft fairly well. First round, we definitely need a defensive end. We straight up don't have any starting defensive ends. So we got Jared Dalton, 72, normal. The dev trait kind of sucks, but he was number 12 or 13 in true talent. And being able to get him, I mean, he doesn't actually look really that great, but getting a guy at the last pick that's, pretty much almost consensus top 15 pick is good. Second round, we got Trevor Davis here at D tackle at 68 overall. Honestly, for our scheme, I'm going to have to actually take him here, edit, and make him a defensive end, which is why I don't know if his rating's going to shoot up or go down. He's a 68. He goes to defensive end. He still stays at the 68, which is good. Fits our scheme. Third round, we got another 68 in Devontae Brooks out of Purdue. Normal dev trait. All these picks were really good picks because that's random generated. Anyone over like 65, 64 is what you're looking for. Fourth round, we got a 67 overall guard from Colorado State. And then the 5th round, we got a 61 defensive end, Torrey Marshall, slightly undersized for our scheme, but he was the only good player we had available that was scouted. So overall, a nice draft haul, but really, none of these guys are going to make much of an impact because their team is pretty much set outside of defensive end. Year 4, as you get ready to defend this crown, our team is looking pretty juicy. 91 overall, 97 offense, 87 defense. Pretty rare that you see an offense better than the defense in Baltimore. Where Lamar Jackson, Kareem Hunt. Hunt's actually got up into a superstar dev trade. I can't remember when he earned this. I think he got it because he got Bill, running back of the year. So we got a superstar dev trade. We got X Factor in Hollywood Brown. Boykin's up to an 85. The offensive line is outstanding. Like, this team is built to succeed given the studs that Baltimore already has. On the defensive side of the ball, it's pretty good as well. No real big changes. Question mark could be a defensive end. We're rocking and rolling with Dalton and Davis as our 2 defensive ends. not great. But we're going to need, that's where Patty Fisher and Jalen Ferguson are going to need to step up. These guys here just all out commit to stopping the run. We got Michael Pierce, one of the best run-stuffing nose tackles in the National Football League. So that's, we're going to need to get the pressure from the outside guys. And I feel like we're going to be able to compensate and be able to make another run and continue this dynasty here in year 4 of the rebuild. Coming out from the bye, we're 8-1 on the season. Truly the creme de la creme in the National Football League. Bengals are actually not looking too shabby. Browns are down this season. It's just dominance, and we're looking to get our 2nd divisional title this year. We won the one Super Bowl. We only have one div title, so trying to reclaim as the top dog in the AFC North. This is a little bit of a goal this season, but look at that contracts, guys that we definitely want for this year and the final year of the rebuild. Hollywood Brown, superstar X Factor, unreal playmaker. Thank you very much. We got Michael Pierce still at 29, very productive, not really worried about regression. Earl Thomas, same difference, man. He has definitely held on to his rating very well into old age. We'll come back to the table with him because even after regression, he's still going to be probably like 87, 86, one of the better free safeties in the league. Miles Boykin has been very solid for us, even though he hasn't really panned out in the sim. He's nice to have on the roster. We got Jalen Ferguson, who's actually been a beast. 4 years, $40 million. Nothing to worry about that. Ben Powers is our starting center, so we definitely want to get him locked up. A.J. Brown in the slot. I mean, I do like him. We'll see if he takes this deal. If not, I don't know if we're going to... Oh. He's very close to getting up to an 81 overall. We got some nice playmakers. Iman Marshall from USC. Got Lewis in his name now. All these guys want more money. God damn it. Them's the breaks. We'll make sure we can come back for Earl Thomas. Other than that, we got to try to find a way to free up some of this cash because I don't want to let all these guys walk. And at the end of year number 4, we were able to actually kind of get those contracts to work. It stung a little bit. We had to release Tony Jefferson, and he was 81, and we took Reed Blankenship, who we drafted at Middle Tennessee State. He was back up to Earl Thomas. We just switched him to strong safety. He's actually at 80, so a 1-point loss, but it freed up like $10 million worth of salary cap, so we were able to re-sign everyone that we wanted to, and we still finished top dogs in the AFC North with a 12-4 record. It was pretty competitive AFC North with 9-7. Being the record for the Browns, Steelers, and Bengals. Looking at our stats on the year, 3,600 yards, 35 touchdowns, and 11 picks for Lamar Jackson. I think he's up to a 97 overall, 96 with a +1 morale boost. Still no X Factor. I mean, hopefully it's coming. I really just want to play with him with an X Factor. I think it'd be ridiculous, but for the time being, he's still pretty damn good. Kareem Hunt has been unbelievable, almost 1,500 yards and 15 touchdowns. Justice Hill, who we have no money to re-sign him. He had an okay year, almost 500 yards, 9 touchdowns, 304 for Lamar Jackson. Hollywood Brown, we didn't have any dominant receiver. We had a good collective unit between Andrews, Brown, Boykin, and Hollywood. Defensively, 111 tackles, 7 TFLs, and a pick from Miles Jack, 6.5 sacks from Michael Pierce. Sacks are down. That's not awesome to see. But Marlon Humphrey, 4 picks, emerges and still remains as one of the best corners in football. Yearly awards, Deshaun Watson got himself an MVP award. In the AFC, did we get Coach of the Year maybe? No, we didn't. Of course not. AFC Offensive Player of the Year also went to Deshaun Watson, who's now the man pulling the strings for New England. That's awesome. And Blake Bortles is the guy in Houston. Okay. Well, Lamar Jackson coming in at number 7 and Kareem Hunt at number 9. Defensive Player of the Year went to Myles Garrett. And we unfortunately didn't have anyone make that short list. But the team success was outstanding as we looked to defend this Super Bowl title. And it all starts by taking on the 9-7 Browns at MTNT. So we know this team can win in the sim, and it's a tough one going up against Cleveland. Anytime you take on the Browns, it's going to be a little bit annoying. But we had some fairly good success against the Browns. And like we saw last year on that Super Bowl run, this team can win in the sim. And that is pretty much very important. That's as valuable as you can get in these rebuilds because it's heavily weighted on the sim until year 5. So we're looking pretty good, up 10 in the second half. Our defense is playing well. Not seeing a whole lot of Baker Mayfield, but we had an interception when we could have got points on the board. Annoying. Now it's tied at 17 apiece, but we have the ball at the end. Justin Tucker makes a kick to 3-point lead with just 2 minutes to go. Am I confident? Not really. There you go. Okay, let's come in. Let's come in and play a little bit here. I know it's only year 3, but I wanna feel how spicy, how saucy Lamar Jackson is. I don't like the fact that we got 2 Browns, so I'm not super familiar with their numbers. Oh, we're going to throw it up. Contested catch. Mark Andrews makes the play. We'll call it timeout. Okay. Garbage throw from Lamar Jackson. Couldn't be any more off target. And pretty ridiculous pick from Demarius Randall to end this game. That was actually a garbage. I mean, it is Lamar Jackson, right? I mean, he's not accurate. He should be accurate given his stats. He could not have been more off on that pass. We had a good matchup. If he would have thrown a dime, which he should have, to Hollywood Brown, I'm not saying that would have been a touchdown. That would have put us in the red zone. So, you know, at least we made the playoffs. It was like we won the Super Bowl and didn't even fail to make the playoffs. But now we're going to year 5, trying to get our second Super Bowl of the rebuild. So as we went into free agency with $500,000 in cap, we just had to make our moves in the draft. And because we lost Justice Hill, we needed to find a second running back. And look at this stud, Luther Crothers from Oklahoma. Still sitting there at 28, 76 with a hidden dev trade. He's going to eat. He's going to get lots of reps. As we saw, Justice Hill got 9 touchdowns, so Crothers is going to be stepping in that role. Huge value here for the Ravens, and a good compliment to the power back style we have in Kareem Hunt. He brings some change of pace. The rest of the draft was pretty good. We got Hale here at pick 2. He was a top 50 talent, 69 overall. Not really a scheme fail. I was pretty much just going for BPA. Whiffed on this one. J.D. Barton was like first place in almost every testing for a center. Must have been a really weak center class because he's only at 51. We got great players for, you know, we got a 68 tackle in Charlton out of Purdue, 69 D tackle at Adelmas out of Auburn. 50, this was a little bit of whiff here in Mark Little. As you can see, had a pretty high bench press, 85. The rest of the stats kind of suck. Got a fullback to replace Reichard. The safety and the quarterback, you know, not gonna lie, just pretty much flyers. But, like, you know, when you get anyone that's probably, I'd say anyone that's like 67 or above in most draft classes are top 100 players. And the fact that we got a bunch of them, we got 4, that's a good steal. But this guy right here, Crothers, he's going to be a beast. We're going to utilize him a lot this year. As we get to year 5, Super Bowl or Dynasty, I guess, because we've already won one. Year 5, we're a 92 overall with a 97. The offense is still unreal. Bad news, Lamar Jackson did not get an X Factor. Good news, Kareem Hunt did. He's going to be coming in with the ability of Wrecking Ball. So that's going to be pretty cool. Doesn't get that. Is that the crazy stiff arm one? That is the stiff arm. I've never used it. I've heard it's been really, really overpowered. It got nerfed a little bit. I've never, like, I'm playing with the Raiders for my main franchise. I have not used 90% of the X Factor because I also just, out of principle, will not play the Pro Bowl mode. But yeah, we got Hollywood Brown. We got some X Factors on the offense. Lamar Jackson's looking real good. Miles Boykin, OP as ever. Mark Andrews should get up into the 90s. Leatherwood should get up into the 90s. So we're going to have 3 offensive linemen in the 90 overall. Just unreal team. An unreal team. And I want to see what Crothers is because they changed the walkout. Like, there's a chance he's Superstar X Factor. It's a random general league class. So we'll have to see. Defensively, we still got Earl Thomas, 85 overall. Humphrey has got into a Superstar X Factor. He's now a shutdown corner, which is unbelievably deserved. The rest of the defense is good. I mean, I'm surprised Miles Jack hasn't got up to a superstar yet. Ferguson as well, maybe even Pierce, but they're still good. They're still working with their dev traits. Just the star devs. This gets the job done. Still really good defense, but it's always going to be weird looking at the Baltimore Ravens and being like, yeah, our offense is better than our defense. But it is what it is, and we're in year 5. Let's just make another playoffs. It'd be nice to get our 3rd divisional title of the rebuild and see if we can get our 2nd Super Bowl. But we didn't make the playoffs? What? 9-7? 3rd place. We weren't even first team out. The Browns didn't make the play. Oh my god. That is I mean, we won a Super Bowl already, but this is probably the most surprising thing that's happened in a rebuild so far. What? This is the first time we've had, like, I don't want to cuss for the sake of cussing, but like, what the, you know what? Sim results. No, there's no way this team with no injuries doesn't make the playoffs. That running back is a superstar. That running back was a superstar too. Crothers. That's unreal. Like, we hit diamond, like an awesome. That's like maybe our first superstar we straight up drafted. Man. What happened? Look at the stats. Let's see what happened. Lamar Jackson was incredible. His best year, a career year, 4,200 yards, 43 touchdowns, 11 picks. Also threw up almost 400 rushing yards and 4 rushing touchdowns. He probably won MVP. Hollywood Brown had a great year. Mark Andrews, 13 touchdowns. Was the defense that shit the bed? Now, look, we have our best sack total, I think, of a rebuild. 11.5 for Patty Fisher. interceptions were definitely down. Did he win? If Lamar Jackson won, what? So he won the MVP. I mean, look at the MVP race though. 9-7, 8-8. Jameis Winston, but 9-7. Okay, very weird. Maybe the most weird season I've seen in a rebuild. Like clearly, Patriots, Deshaun Watson coming runner-up, and they didn't make the playoffs either. Bucks might have missed the playoffs. Trubisky's there, top 5. There's a chance 4 of the top 5 MVP voting missed the playoffs. Offensive Player of the Year, Lamar Jackson coming in at number 2. Defensive Player of the Year went to Myles Garrett yet again. Patty Fisher coming in at number 10 for the Ravens. I still can't believe this. Like, I would actually be livid right now if we didn't win a Super Bowl and this is how it ended. I just want to, let's just sim to the offseason real quick. I want to see if Lamar Jackson got an X Factor. Because, like, how annoying. I've been dying for Lamar Jackson to get an X Factor ability. And then watch him get it after we didn't straight up make the playoffs. And there you go. Perfect timing. I almost want to do another year. Run and gun. Well, if this had to be a great segue, we are starting a new rebuild series that is going to go along with this style of rebuild. It's going to be a 3-part rebuild series, 3 5-year seasons. So if this was part of the realistic rebuild, we're going to call it the realistic rebuild. I'm going to go back to my roots. I'm going to do a whole thing starting next week with it. And we were doing the Ravens, we'd be able to continue on here with Lamar Jackson. But essentially, you know, I might as well shoot you the little promo, if you will, for the next rebuild. You know, the year 5 Super Bowl bust. Like right now, we basically made moves to fit under the salary cap. But when you're going beyond 5 years, we're going to be a lot more conscientious. It's going to be a lot more realistic. We can't just sign everyone. You can't re-sign all of our good players. Have to make tough decisions. And I feel like it's going to be a fun series. It will be starting next Tuesday, Thursday, Sunday. I think are going to be the 3 days that I'm usually going to upload them. It's going to be a mix with the Raiders franchise. And Twitch streams are starting very soon. I got the green screen. I got the webcam ready to get that face cam, which is what I want for streaming. So, yeah, that's going to be fun. And, hey, weird season, but we still got a Super Bowl. We still got the dub for the Baltimore Ravens, so it goes down as a successful rebuild, which gives us 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're 5-2 on the year with the successful rebuild, so that's an awesome start. So I hope you guys did enjoy. As always, your first time stopping by, don't be afraid to hit that subscribe button. Smash the like button if you enjoyed. And until next time, it's C4 saying peace out.
Money I'm spending, I'm out and I'm shopping. You talking that shit, well you talking and talking. Look at my options, look at me dropping. Ass in the game, like who are you stopping? Not me, not me, not never. Not me, not me, not never. Not me, not me, not never. I'm way too clever. Look at the kid, Mr. Consistent, I'm doing it big. Way too persistent on taking your bitch.